Shalom, shalom, shalom lakam, which is peace unto you all. Ha'ai Rab Tawab La Atam Za'akyakam Yawam Man Rachagadal Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Juan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham Atam Kaya Ha Malakwat Hashamayim Kwa Rab, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Kahalayim La La Abanawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Bahasham Racha HaKwadash Wa Mashana La Zakwanim Na Wa Malakim Shaw Rachagadal, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means He exists. Bahasham, and the name Yahweh Shai, He delivers, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, this is Dabarium, Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 17, and it says, "There shall be no whore of the daughters of Yasha'Allah, nor sodomite of the sons of Yasha'Allah," which when we go into this word sodomite, it says Quadash. All right. And it says male temple prostitute, you see, but then it also goes into, it says a male devotee. It says unclean, and you go into here, and it says a sodomite as consecrated. That's why it has the name Quadash, because they're consecrated to the idol Ishtar. All right. And it says or Venus. That's why it says to Astarte, which that's Ishtar, or in the scriptures it'll say Ashtoreth, or other names would be Diana, but then Venus is also a lot of times associated with idolatry, worship with Ishtar, but it says prostitute himself in her honor. All right, then it says consecrated to Venus, which for a female would be Quadasha. All right, so essentially, both will be considered essentially consecrated to Ishtar. That's why it has the qua, which we'll break that word down. And it says qua, all right, which is quap. All right, and we understand that the quap goes into a circle, and that circle in this reference will be, or this is referencing to the crown of the head, and it has relation in the meaning of quadad, which is to bow the head in respect, you see, because they're consecrated to Ishtar, and you got the da, which that goes into dalath, which means to dangle, and then you got the shah, which is pressure, you see. So in this word, it would mean head down in respect of Ishtar insistently, you see, because essentially those that live those types of lifestyles, they go hard with that, they potentially they essentially for example, if you had a sodomite male, he'll start dressing, he'll start taking on a voice that's not his. That's how it's a spirit on him, because if someone was to talk in a high voice, that essentially make their voice box hurt. So that's how it's a spirit on them. Just like, you got different like little pills and like estrogen blockers, for women, when they're seeking to live that type of lifestyle as well, you see. But ultimately, it's not conducive to life, and that's why essentially a lot of times they be having like a lot of like mental health issues and stuff like that. All right, but nevertheless, going into dangle, and it says to cause to dangle. It says to keep hanging uncertainly. All right, swing. It says to influence decisively, because a lot of times they be coming in that particular type of spirit as well. It says to move freely to and fro, especially in suspension from overhead support. All right. And it says to shift or fluctuate from one condition, form, position, or object of attention or favor to another. A lot of times, they go from what they were created as to the completely opposite, So they fluctuate from what they actually was born. Then it says to start up in smooth, vigorous manner. It says to be lively, exciting, and up to date. It says engage freely in sex. And that's essentially, that's what they do, going back to Sodom and Imara, or Saddam wa Imara, which is Sodom and Gomorrah, you see. But it says to be lively, because when they in that type of lifestyle, they be super lit, when that shouldn't be the case. All right. But then you go into the word for shah, or pressure. All right. In which it says continuous physical force exerted or against an object by something in contact with it. It says the use of persuasion, influence, or intimidation to make someone do something. And that's the spirit they ultimately come in, All All right, which is, the scriptures speak against it, but we can get this. This is Barasha, Genesis chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, "And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground, and said, Behold, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young." So going into older men and younger men, it says, "All the people from every quarter, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them." Which that word know, which when they said they wanted to know them, all right, we get that word for know. It says yadai, and it says to know. All right, and you go down. It says to make oneself known, reveal oneself. They want to reveal themselves. All right, Salak. It says to become acquainted with anyone. All right, Salak. Essentially, they had it in a blue letter at one point, but when in the scriptures at times it'll say no, it's talking about knowing carnally, carnal knowledge, sexual knowledge. That's what they were talking about. They were sodomites. All right, and it says, "And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. It says, Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof," which the shadow of the roof that ultimately goes into protection. Yep. NLT, it says, "and are under my protection," So it says, "And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door." So that going into that consistent pressure, going back to this definition, it says quap. It says quap, da, and sha, or qua, da, and sha, quadash, because they got their head down in respect of Ishtar, which with the head down, you're not even looking where you're going, like when they say, okay, keep your, or salat, pretty much if someone has their head down, they pretty much can't see, they're not really being circumspect, and essentially they just pressing forward, pretty much going into the meaning of this definition right here. It says quad da, which the dangling, that's moving, all right, and then the pressure, moving with constant pressure, and with the head down in respect to Ishtar, you see. So that's the spirit that they come in. They're coming with that constant motion, with like when you go into the word quadash on the right hand side, consecrated to the Lord. The men of the Lord, all right, the prophets are essentially are consecrated and dedicated to the Lord, all right, with earnest pressure. Nevertheless, continuing on, let's get Romans. We get Romans chapter 1, and we'll start at verse 24, and it says, "Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their bodies between themselves." It says, "Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature." All right, because you had women with women and men with men. It says, "And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the women, burn in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. You see, so that comes in the form of different sicknesses, chalawat, which would be sicknesses or diseases. You know, also the mental health. You know, a lot of people that's in that particular type of spirit, you know, they commit suicide or they delete themselves. It's a lot. All right, and it says, and even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. And which, when you go into this word convenient, it goes into what's suitable. All right, and it says convenient, fit, what is it is becoming. All right, to come to. So pretty much what's not suitable. It's not suitable. That's not the purpose of life. You know, that particular kind of lifestyle does not promote anything but death. You know, we were commanded to pretty much be fruitful and multiply. That doesn't produce any type of life. You know. All right, we can get this. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 9, and it says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind." You know, and when you go into that word, abusers with themselves with mankind. All right, and it says sodomites, homosexual. All right. So then it says effeminate. You know, because a lot of times, you know, both being a sodomite and being effeminate, you know, that's off according to the scriptures. You know, so continuing on, let's get Ayawab, Job chapter 38. We'll get verse 3, and it says, Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me." All right, so the Lord is calling men, you know, not sodomites. All right, so those in that particular type of spirit, you know, they're gonna be destroyed if they don't repent. You know, because what Esau fails to realize, you know, if he was to teach, or if being that he wants to run this stuff in his society, you know, he wanted to take the scriptures into himself, but he didn't start here. All right, this is 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, "And turning the cities of Sodom and Amorah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly." You see, so hey, Esau wants to put these things in his society. You see, but he never lets the people know, hey, what's going to be the recompense of that particular kind of lifestyle. Because when you go back to Greece, Rome, all the other societies, when they did the stuff like this, hey, essentially that land, or those people was destroyed. You know, when you go to Pompeii, you know, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was like a paradise for those that was in Rome. All right, continuing on, let's get Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 23. All right, and it says, "And that whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass." So like, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom, Amorah, Admah, and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. You see, so to reiterate, you know, any type of society that had that type of stuff going on, the Lord always judged that society. Because I pretty much those specific societies, all right, they was always judged in the end. You know, i.e., like I had mentioned before, Rome, Greece, all right, and any other society that had a type of stuff going on. Anytime these particular types of acts starts to go on, that's when judgment takes place shortly after. All right. So continuing on, let's get we'll get Dabarium, Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 17. It says, so like Deuteronomy 23 and verse 1, and it says, "He that is wounded in the stones, or hath his privy member cut off, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord." All right, so because you got dudes just in that spirit to where, you know, they're cutting off their privy member. All right, so those that's in that spirit, you know, that they're not going to make it into the kingdom. You see, so those that's in that sodomite type of spirit, all right, whether it be male or female, you see, or those that's getting those changes, you're not going to inherit the kingdom, except you repent, you see. So Adawan Tazaza Banaya Palos with us, a beautiful edification through the spirit. Adawan Tazaza Atam Yashlay Latawabi, Lord's will, you have a good night. Washalam Lakam, much peace to you.
Biological male defeats female boxer in just 46 seconds at the Paris Olympics, punching her in the head. Algerian boxer Iman Khalif, who has male chromosomes and previously failed a gender test, defeated Italian female boxer Angela Carini in the Paris Olympics 2024. A female athlete was forced to fight against a male identifying himself as female. Iman Khalif was knocked her off in just within minutes, only 46 seconds. So what are your thoughts over transgenders? Let us know in the comments and do subscribe to watch some more updates regarding Olympics.